with me in my foul life.
Foul Life Podcast Nation, what is up? Chad B here, back with you. We're loving the response to these podcasts. It's duck season. Trying to bring you as much instruction, know-how, thoughts, processes, platforms, ideologies, scopes of work, just kind of how to attack the season, whether you're new to the game, whether you are a veteran to the game, whether you are mentoring somebody new and getting them into this waterfowling bloodline. It's a special life. Got a special guest host today, too. You know him from This Life Ain't For Everybody Breaking It Down series. He's an all-around hunter, probably the best rifle shot we all know here at Banded Nation, Foul Life Nation. He loves hunting predators, turkeys, big game, deer, elk, loves waterfowl hunting. Don't know if he's as good with a shotgun as he is with a rifle. I'm going to say no. Mm-mm. But he can hide that because he's always hunting with a group of buddies.
That's right.
Yeah, Alex Crosby, what's up?
I wanted to comment. I saw your Instagram story the other day, busting those clay pigeons, and I was impressed, man.
Shooter of the top shooter for the third year in a row.
I was gonna say there's no hiding clay pigeon. You did one man, two shells, two birds,
and I didn't even shoot that good. I really
your
didn't.
Shoulder.
I had this shoulder problem going on where I couldn't elevate my right shoulder, which is my forearm hand, and I couldn't. I mean, I'm not using excuses. I adjusted pretty good, but I was in pain on every station.
I do love that. I always like to sit right in the middle whenever I waterfowl hunt, because then there's literally no way that anyone could tell if you miss or hit, and then just go pick them up and
have the dog bring him back.
Yeah, I mean, you get your pile, and everyone's got their pile. You could choose not to take a pile. I think, I don't know, but
what I love most about waterfowl hunting, and this is a product plug because you can see me. I'm actually taking. I just finished goose sausage wraps. Okay, I just take a low carb little tortilla and freaking throw that in a little bit of Napa Valley olive oil. We process this stuff ourselves. These little sausages, cased, perfect mixture of pork fat mixed with the wild goose meat. Awesome way to get rid of a lot of birds. There's some days in snow goose hunting where we kill 300 birds a day in the spring. Some days in the fall season where we kill 120 with the liberal limits in California. Liberal and the word California kind of go together. But then when you're up at goose camp in Canada, dude, you might have 7 guns on a hunt. You kill an 8-man limit apiece. That's 56 Canada geese. Mm-hmm. You can throw these sausages together in a matter of minutes with this company right now that we're working with, Meat, M-E-A-T exclamation point. Website is meatyourmaker.com, meatyourmaker.com. It's, you talk about covering every single thing that you need to enhance your field to table. That's their slogan really, is enhancing your field to table experience. So whether you're growing your own beef or your pigs or your chickens or gardening, they have products that can help you with gardening, such as some of their vacuum sealers and stuff. If you want to save some radishes or something and freeze them, or any of the other vegetables. But you talk about things from saws to grinders to dehydrators to slicers, like butcher quality stuff, butcher shop quality, meat market quality. When you're a kid and you're looking through those clear windows at the butcher shop and you're seeing them back there just going to town. I've always been envious of butchers, and this company Meat is literally like brought us to the table now. You've been with us several days where we go into the garage in a matter of minutes. We are processing our own sausage. We're slicing up our own elks. We're packaging it. We're making it to where the grinders, the processors, the mixers, you can do anything with this product line by Meet Your Maker.
The key, because I bought one of those. Did you ever buy one of those attachments that went on like your girlfriend's kitchen stand maker to do like sauce? Like you thought that was going to do sausage, and it does, but it's so slow and it's just a pain in the butt. When you guys got these, they're commercial quality stuff, dude. You run through that meat like it's nothing. You know what I mean?
Like it's nothing.
I would have liked to have tried that goose sausage that you brought in. There wasn't one for me, but
well, yeah, I know, but you were eating a Jacqueline's Cold Craft right in front of me and went into my refrigerator and didn't even offer to get me one out.
That's like an appetizer. That's like a snack.
Well, so was this. I went through that in a matter of seconds. But that's wild goose, bro.
No, I was going to commend those, the ones you made with the jalapeno and cheddar, the snack sticks.
Unbelievable.
And what I always find is when you make those things, then you take those hunting and then you happily share them with, everybody that's with you, or you give them out as a gift or whatever. Like you said, you kill, even if you have your own little weekend hunt and you kill, 4-8 big Canada geese, that's a lot of meat for, like me to eat by myself. I can't eat.
Or if you go to multiple states or live in the East or the Midwest where you can kill multiple does and you're a deer hunter, right?
Yeah.
Or you go antelope hunting, then elk hunting, then deer hunting in Nevada. You're lucky enough to draw all 3 tags. You're going to have a lot of ground beef. You're going to have a lot of sausage meat. You're going to have a lot of roast meat that you might not want to cook a full roast. You could take that roast meat and turn it into something with this meat product that is, I'm telling you, I love the idea of processing. Mm-hmm. But then on top of that, if you're just going to butcher the meat and get your steaks ready, okay? You're just going to get your tenderloin ready, your back straps ready, your chops ready, your ribs ready. Anything that you can take off of a cow or a steer or a bison, you can take off of an elk, a deer. Then when you get into ducks, you got the legs, you got the fat for rendering, you got the skin, you got the breast meat. A lot of people are like, you need to pluck every duck that you kill. No, you don't. I'm so tired of showing a processing video of the way that we like to do it and then getting chastised because we didn't eat the leg meat. There's a lot. You can't take a lot of meat off of a teal leg. So chill out and stay in your lane. Okay, we're doing things that are ethically correct. We're eating everything that we kill. That doesn't mean that I'm going to eat the tongue out of every elk that I kill, okay? Now, do I enjoy an elk tongue once in a while? You're damn right. But you don't have to cut the tongue out every single time to be considered a provider, right? Or a hunter-gatherer. I don't like to pluck every goose that I kill. I just don't. I like to cut the breast meat out because I love making pulled goose sandwiches. My point is that if you're using this product by meat and you got all your steaks lined up and everything, dude, these vacuum bags, the vacuum sealer, the big commercial ones or the little personal ones, 2 different types with the drawer system or just with the zip system, you can have bags that are so well laid out and thought out with the date, a line for the date, what it is, a description of the meat. Put your name on there. You put the date. You put where it was harvested. You're always staying legal within your legal means of your possession limit, your harvest limit, your daily bag limit, whatever you want to call it, whatever game you're chasing. I got bags from spring of 2021 that say Tennessee turkey, Georgia turkey, California turkey, Idaho turkey. Says what's in there. Mm-hmm. Is it strip breast meat? Is it leg meat? Is it thigh? What is it? Okay, and then you can label them all. You can go in there in your freezer and you're organized. You're like, holy shit, dude, there's so much pride in it, Crosby. That's what I think of when I think of a company like Meat Your Maker, is the pride that goes in to being a hunter-gatherer provider.
Do you remember, I'm sure your dad did it because my dad did it, but they would cut up their deer or whatever, and I'm sure in their mind they figured like they were going to remember what was in that white butcher paper, but then like they would go to cook dinner and you'd be like, what do we have? And they would just pull that white pack out, by the time it thought, oh, we're having deer steaks, or it could have been, oh, it was a tenderloin or whatever, because they never marked them. It was just, you knew the deer was in the white butcher paper. Yeah. And it could have been ground, but like you said, nowadays
some of it leaked through and now it froze. And you can see the blood marks through, like you wrote on like you got a piece of like Kleenex wet or something.
Exactly.
What about the days when your dad or mom would be like, oh no, that's fine. That meat's fine. It's so freezer burnt that it looks like that a glacier's growing on it.
Exactly.
But they're going to try to talk you in that it's still fine.
No, as soon as it thaws, it'll be fine. Yeah.
It's bullshit.
Oh, exactly.
Freezer burnt will kill wild game.
Oh, it ruins it.
That's what I love about these packages. They're so strong, and every bit of that air gets sucked out so well that when you seal it, when you go in and you fill some packages and you're like, oh, there's air in there. Mm-hmm. That kills meat.
Yep.
Oh, that's broke. Well, if it just broke, eat it right away. Don't even freeze it. if you feel it like you know that you just put it in the freezer a week ago and you go in there and went, wait, what's something got dropped on it and it broke the seal or something, you eat it right away. That stuff's not going to stay good for that long when air is getting to it, that ice taste that gets to it. It's just like a dirty freezer smell,
It
right?
absorbs that flavor from
Yeah.
everything that's ever been in your freezer.
And the process with this Meet Your Maker stuff is like, man, now I'm going to be a better organizer in my freezer. And it's like impossible to find freezers now, with the pandemic and everybody going out and buying all the meat they can. There was a point to where you couldn't even find freezers, even on like Craigslist or eBay or whatever those sites are. People were telling me, I need more lay down freezers. I don't have enough. Remember, I called you, and luckily enough, you had a way. But you start to organize your freezers. And I know that this sounds like a long-winded commercial, but this is the life. This is the life of the provider. This is the life of living off the land when you can go into a retail outlet and see this kind of product or order it online and knowing what you can establish yourself as. Your man cave or your garage area can become a full-blown butcher shop. Full-blown butcher shop if you want to have that idea of doing it all yourself. I'm not saying taking it to the butcher is not a bad thing, but what does the butcher give it to you in? They wrap it up good. A lot of good butchers will wrap it up good and it's professionally done. But, dude, we just did Bubba's Elk. It's as professional as you can get in this meat stuff.
Well, the butchers, especially like in the ground and stuff like that, you're not getting your stuff back. I think most of them will tell you, they wait till they get 100 pounds of ground to do or whatever their number is, and then because it
could be all mule deer, but it's
all
not
mule deer
just
might
your
not
deer.
be yours,
Yeah,
I think, and I learned this from you guys. How much is the grind? You know what I mean? Like you only get so many steaks, you only get so many, whatever chops, tenderloins, and then you're left with this huge amount of meat that needs to be ground, right? I mean, and if you get your own machine that works well, you don't dread doing it. Like I said, when I had
that's a great point. You don't dread it,
right? When I had that stand, the one that went on the stand mixer, that you could do 3 ounces at a time before it jammed up and clogged up. It was miserable. You're happier going to a butcher shop, but the butcher shop's got its own challenges too, because most of them are closed on Sunday and Monday. Most of the time, you're getting your big game animal on a Friday, Saturday, coming home Sunday. Now you got to deal with this deer hanging or doing something for 2 or 3 days. If you just brought it home and got to work and started cutting it up and grinding it and do it, it's not that hard to learn, the primal, breakdown of a deer or an elk or whatever.
Sure.
And it honestly, you do it, and then it's almost as fun as hunting. You know what I mean? Like sounds weird.
That's where I was going next, is that a big part of what I do in seminars or, in the way that when people ask me questions is about how do you do this with duck hunting or how, I'm not saying that I'm the ends all. Okay. There's a lot better duck hunters or goose hunters in this world than me or that I'll ever be. But I've always tried to teach the art of visualization. And I always talk to people about how it parallels with my baseball career and how Ted Williams in his book, Science of Hitting, wrote on the art of visualization. I believe it was chapter 4. If you visualize your hunt, you start to put it together. All right, wind's going to be coming out of this direction. Decoys are here. My hide's here. I scouted it last night. There's a low part in the field here. They're going to want to be on this high part. How are we going to start visualizing it? We're going to be on a tree line. Well, how are we going to trick them? We're going to extend our decoy line. They're going to come off the roost from the east. They're going to be flying away from the sun, but the wind's going to be blowing out of the east. So they're going to circle out in front of us and set into the wind. You visualize that process. What meat allows me to do is visualize the butchering and processing process. Mm-hmm. So now I'm visualizing not just how well it's going to be laid out and how excited I am to write on those bags and mark what it is, because I know now my visualization starts, all right, I've just put all this sausage away. I already see myself doing stuffed bell peppers next week. I'm visualizing the peppers coming out of the garden, cutting the caps off, getting all the seeds out, getting all of these ingredients going with onions and garlic and whatever provider rubs I'm using, or whiskey bent rubs or meat church rubs I'm using, or Tuffy Stone cold smoke rubs. I use them all. And I visualize that, oh, Tuffy smoke is going to go right here. Boom. Going to do this recipe. Oh, the provider crosshairs is going to go onto this burger right here because it's got a taste of dill. And I'm visualizing this. Now I'm visualizing the sides. Does that make sense? Like, you start to take so much pride in becoming a provider. You're like, dude, I can't wait to go back in the freezer and grab another thing of this out to do something else now. Because my ribs were so good. My burger was so good. My stroganoff was so good. Bam. That visualization process kicks in on not just the hunt, but now on your butchering and processing.
And I think people, hunters in general, they get stuck in that rut, right? The popper is a great example. You know what I mean? Like everyone that kills a duck turns it into a jalapeno popper
Every
or whatever.
time.
Because that tastes good. Nobody's going to lie that doesn't taste good. But I mean, well, not for you, but if you put cream cheese and bacon and a jalapeno around anything, it's going to taste good. You know what I mean? And it's sad. And then, you get stuck into the jerky rut or, just those easy ways to consume your game meat.
Which, and before you continue, and I love where you're going, it's going to make you not want to eat it as much because it becomes too tedious. It becomes too over and over, same old song and dance. There's no unorthodox, out of the box thinking.
Yeah. We hardly ever got ground meat, when we were younger. My parents, they didn't like the grinding of meat, likely because they didn't have a good grinder. Back when I was a kid, either you couldn't afford what we're talking about now because the technology just was a newer, or you had your old, hand grinder or whatever. So my parents' go-to was the stew, right? So all those kind of cuts that aren't that great, they ended up in stew meat. And, venison stew is good. But, your mom would make 4 gallons of it, and then you'd eat it for 3 days in a row, and then you didn't want to touch it for, the next 3 months because it was just too much.
You know where meat comes in on a stew recipe or a sauce recipe is that vacuum sealer. You put that stew already made, let it cool, put it in one of these bags, seal it. You can eat it in a month from now.
Yep.
You might pull it out and be like, dude, I'm going to deer camp. I'm going to throw this in a freaking cast iron on the open flame or put it on the Traeger and close the lid, warm it up. It's done.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, this vacuum sealer is legit. But that's what I'm saying. What you're saying rings a bell of like, how many times do people give a bad critique, like we've gone through on our other show, This Life Ain't For Everybody, breaking it down, of foodies and critiquing. How many times do you hear excuse me, I get pissed off about it. How many times do you hear effing people give big game or ducks and geese a bad review?
All the time.
All the time.
Number one thing is duck tastes like liver, right?
All the time. Texture sucks.
Yeah.
Taste wild, taste gamey.
Yeah.
Well, dude, that's because you didn't take pride in your meat when you killed it. Well, this antelope sucks. Well, that's because you killed it in 98-degree weather in August, had 4 beers to celebrate your kill while you're freaking out there with the sun just baking your meat. Mm-hmm. You need to get the guts out of it. Don't touch the piss bag because a lot of people make that mistake. And then you got to go get ice on that thing. Mm-hmm. Get it in some ice. Get it in a freezer. Get it in something to keep it cool.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
100%. And I think a lot of people could learn more about wild game cooking. I think that Nevada is a tough state, right? Draw state. You could easily go 5 years without drawing a tag. I think people in the Midwest and stuff that can kill 4 or 5 whitetails a year, they do a better job with wild game. I mean, you'll know better than I'll know, but I mean, when you travel over there, it's like they've got the setup to do everything. They're looking forward. Same with Alaska and places like that. They're looking forward to harvesting that wild game, and they'll put their whitetail steak up against any steak you've got off of a beef or anything like that, and they've got all that stuff ready to go. They do their own grinds, their own mixes. They're making breakfast sausages. They're doing all that stuff with their whitetail deer. Granted, it's different. They can kill 4 or 5 of them a year, and they can do it every year. So they've got the handle on it. Where like. I haven't drawn a deer tag in 5 years. It's hard to master the art of, cooking a wild mule deer when you get one every 5 years or maybe longer,
100%.
But like you said.
But what are those outdoorsmen doing if they're not killing deer? They might go fishing.
Yep.
They might
bird hunt.
Be buying a side of beef or a half a beef. I've heard several people, and a lot of people are calling us at American Almond Beef. Can we get a half a beef? Can we buy a full beef? Me and a buddy wants to split it. Mm-hmm. Bird hunting, chucker, grouse, sage hen, they get a bad rap. They can be good, but they're tough to make good. You got to be very creative, and you got to understand the art of slow cook. You got to understand the art of tenderization, and you have to understand the art of making sure that you get that game taken care of 100% once you kill it. Because again, that's in early September. And it's hot. And what do? You kill one, then you leave it in your vest for another 4-hour walk, and you expect it to be good. You got to think before you kill this shit, because in the long run, you're not doing your duty as a hunter if you're not eating the game or at least sharing it with somebody.
My dad always made us clean the sage hen right when you killed them. You have to.
In a creek, in cold water.
You cannot. They don't even go in your vest. Like you can't.
You have to.
They're almost inedible.
But
if you
very,
do that.
very few people clean them right when they kill them.
I know.
They don't want the hand. They don't want the blood on them. Which brings up another point about meet your maker. A lot of people are like, dude, I dread, like we talked about dreading the process. What about the cleanup? Dude, the cleanup is so easy. Stainless steel pieces that you can bring out. We hose them out, pressure wash them out. Not so you got to pay attention to the parts. You know, you don't want to take you don't need to do that with your dehydrator, but the big mixing bowls and the mixers and all of the components, they clean up in a breeze.
And
but go ahead.
I was going to say those 6-foot white, like banquet
Tubs?
tables. No, the
those
table.
tables.
That's like your, right. You if you had 2 of those and I mean, the mixer, the grinder, and a vacuum sealer, you literally can invite a buddy over and drink 3 or 4 beers and process it. I mean, what did Bubba's elk take? An elk? Took a couple hours? I mean,
about 3 hours,
Yeah.
but we did it right.
And you were filming it, so a little bit,
Yeah, we were filming.
little added. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it isn't that daunting of a task to break down an animal and butcher it yourself at home. And I've taken I've taken tons of big game animals to butchers. I'm not knocking them, just like you're not knocking them. But it is a different sense of pride to do it yourself. And on top of that, you 100% know what happened from, not to be cliche, from the field to your table, right? I mean, there was never a point that meat left your sight. You know that it didn't get contaminated. You know it didn't get overheated. You know it didn't, get mixed with some other guy's deer who didn't take as good a care of meat as you took care of yours. 100% from where you got it to when you put it in your freezer.
Where does your food come from?
Perfect. Exactly.
And the other part of that cleanup deal is the pride. I like knowing that we're organizing these shelves in our shops with all of this badass equipment, paid good money for it. And we just put a ton of work into this hunt. And now we have all of this stuff to show for it. Mm-hmm. There's nothing better than going in there and pulling out some ground chorizo and making eggs with it in the morning with your daughter and your nephew and your friends around and your family. And everybody's like, holy shit, this is good. That's right. We honed our skill set to get them close and kill them ethically. We got our dogs trained or trained them ourselves to bring them back ethically. Processed them, butchered them, processed them, boom, 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 boom. And now we're all just sitting here eating geese like they're going out of style. What is cooler than that? You can't tell me that any job in the world is cooler than being a provider.
Nope.
Can't tell me that.
And I like that we took a little bit of emphasis off making those shots. I mean, as long as you end up with 4 or 5 of them, doesn't matter if you hit them.
Yeah, I mean, as long as people follow the regulations of party hunting. If you are out there with your buddies and the bird limit is, let's say that you're in Arkansas, kill 4 mallards in the woods in Arkansas. You can kill 4 mallards anywhere in Arkansas a day. Pretty much the only birds you kill in the woods, unless you get a screamer wood duck and you kill it, which we don't even really shoot at them. Once in a while, I've seen a gadwall in there. A couple times a sprig when it's real cold. But most of the time, you're going to kill mallards. You got 5 guys in there, and you have 18 dead ducks, okay, and you have 2 drakes left. Your hens have already been accounted for. You already killed your limit of hens. Okay, you can only, I think 2, or don't quote me on this, 1 or 2 of your 4 bird limit can be hen mallards. I believe it's 2. It might be 1 in Arkansas. Check that out. Please don't quote me on that, listeners. If you're planning to go to Arkansas, and it changes all the time, federally, statewide. But you got 5 guys in there, and you're almost to your 20 bird limit. All 5 of you you have to account for your birds on your strap on your tree. Okay, guys, there's only 2 birds left. It's Alex and Clay shooting. They're the only 2 without their limit. My gun's unloaded. It's strapped on the tree. That's it. I'm going to work Axel or Duff when they jump off the platform.
We're all call.
But what do people do? They go, they're all just gung ho. Just keep shooting. Mm-hmm. That's where we get into a mix up, and the gray lines are crossed with party hunting. You got to know what birds are yours. It's illegal just to put them all in one pile.
Right.
Every hunter has to account for their birds during the hunt. I can't stress that enough. I would say, if I had to guess, that's probably the most written ticket in waterfowl hunting.
Yep.
Is possession of birds. If you have your possession of birds, you put them in a pile for a picture, you have to pull them back out. You have them all tagged, right? You can't put them in that pile legally, they say. We still do it. We get a group picture because that's hunting memories. But if you walk out of that field to go get the truck and you leave the field and your buddies are sitting there with your birds untagged, they're in trouble for over the limit.
Yep.
Because you've left your birds behind. Now, I'm not saying that a game warden might not be understanding, but if you're going to leave the field, you need to tag your birds with a little toe tag, with a strap, with a zip tie, saying Alex Crosby, 3 greenheads, 1 hen, 2 Canada geese, killed on this date in this county. You can leave them there now. They're accounted for in a separate pile. Go get your truck, come back, and then those birds have to ride home with you. You can't just carry my birds home, right?
I was just going to say, I bet the number 2 ticket is,
Transport.
I meet you out there in my truck. We get the photo. We throw the birds in your truck, all the decoys in my truck. I'm going to meet you at your house to clean them, and we separate, and you get pulled over, and you've got a 2-man limit, and you're by yourself. You're in trouble.
And what do?
You got to hope that somebody's understanding. We did a podcast with Jared, who's a law enforcement officer, and the spirit of the law he talks about. You're not intending to break that law. You didn't. You made a mistake, a logistical mistake, but they could give it to you. They're
going to give it to you most of the time.
I was going to say, I think a lot of times they will give it to you.
And then you have to figure out what can you have in your freezer. When does the bird become not part of your possession limit? That's a big gray area. If you come into my house and I have mallard duck sausage written on all these packages, that's processed, right? That's no longer against your limit. What's the limit? What's the possession limit? If I can have 3 times my daily limit of ducks, let's say we're in the Pacific Flyway now, I've got 7 puddle ducks. Can have 3 times your legal limit. 3 times 7 is 21. Do you have to eat them to go out and kill them? Let's say you got 21 dead ducks. You went 3 days in a row. Do you have to eat them, or do you have to process them? Or do you leave a wing on so the feds can come in and look in your freezer and say, oh, that's a mallard, that's a gadwall, that's a widgeon, that's a redhead, whatever it is? I'm trying to figure all this out this long into my hunting career of, well, if I go home and I cut them up and I breast them out, now they're just my meat. I mark it on there, mallard ducks killed this day, but I can go out and kill another limit even if I have 21 breasts in my house, right? Or can the feds tell me, and the statewide agencies tell me when I have to eat my ducks? So you're telling me that if I'm a chucker hunter and this daily limit is 6 in Nevada, which I think it is, I don't know what the possession limit is. Is it 2 or 3 days for upland birds?
2.
Okay, so you can have 12. You're telling me that I can't go out and successfully kill a limit of chucker every day. Okay, I'm a legal hunter. I got a badass dog. I know this mountain range like the back of my hand. I know the rim rocks. I know where these chucker live. You kill them for 10 days in a row, you got 60 birds because you're going to do a Coney Island chucker feed at the end of the year. You're telling me that's illegal? What makes it illegal? Because now you're telling me when I have to eat my game.
Right.
I don't know what makes it legal or not. What's the possession limit?
Well, wouldn't that be the same as if you made a sauce with it and you got ground chucker sauce that you refroze again?
But now it's already been cooked. So now I believe that takes out of the equation 100%.
So ground uncooked though?
That's what I'm saying. If you process it and if it's ground, does that take it out of your daily limit? It's processed. Ready for the freezer. Or what if it's just plucked and you got a full chucker in there or a full mallard? Does that mean it's been to your abode, it's already in your freezer, and they can't say that that's part of your possession limit? What is a possession limit? Can I hunt 7 days in a row, kill 21 greenheads in the state of California and hang them in a barn and they're all hanging there with the different days and the different toe tags on them of the days I killed them? But as soon as I take the feathers off and I put them in the freezer and I gut them out, now are they not part of my possession limit? That's where it gets tricky. Because now they're saying that you're going to, are they saying that you're going to save all these birds and then sell them to market or something? Because of the days of the market hunter. That's what the limits were set forth with possession and daily limits because of market hunting. They didn't want you going out and killing 100 ducks in a day.
Right.
But if I kill 60 in 10 days, who can tell me when to eat them? I've stayed within my legal limit every day. So what is a possession limit?
Well, and especially when you're talking, there's not a ton of meat on a mallard duck's breast. So like you said, if
you're saving up for a big feed.
Yeah, you had the intention of having, you got a family of 5 and you want to invite your brother and his family of 5 over, I need more than, a legal possession limit to give everybody 2 small breasts to eat, Yeah, it would be interesting. I've never looked at it. It'd be interesting to know. And the main one that I would think about is, what if you cut it into strips or you ground it is it still part of a possession limit? Because
I don't think so.
You haven't made the gravy yet.
So when you go to a butcher shop and you get your geese done, down in California, you get them to process your birds and take the feathers off and gut them out. You can get fully plucked speckle belly geese, right?
Right.
As long as you have a commercial license, you can do that on your own, right? You can go get a commercial license, I believe, and become a commercial bird processor, to where now those people that have that bird processing station, they have everybody's birds in there, right? So they're accounted for, though. They have tags on them. But once they give them to me and they're still tagged with, they put your little yellow daily, your tag in there of what you turned in. Okay, if you bring 10 hunters I'm getting confusing here. We've had 10 hunters get all their birds done. They all have their tag done for their birds. You can kill 10 specks a day down there, Crosby. Several days we've killed a 10 to 12 man limit. We bring all 120 specks to a place that processes birds, right? We turn them in. Here's Chad Belding's 10 birds. He's got his tag on them. When they give them back, they're all wrapped individually. They're in a plastic bag, then wrapped in butcher paper, double plastic bag, whatever. Some of them will be marked wing on because now you're transporting them. If I'm taking them back to Nevada, I make sure I tell that processor, leave a wing on. Because if I'm driving back and I get pulled over and they're like, well, let me see your birds, they're going to be able to say, oh, spec. They're going to I don't know if they're going to go as far as opening that whole thing up, but it says wing on, so they know that it's in transport back to Nevada if I choose to get them plucked in California. But my question is, where do they have to be for them not to count against my possession limit? If I went to California for a week-long hunt, can I legally have 70 specks with me that are processed to take home with me to feed my family, knowing that I'm going to leave the wing on? I've killed 7 days in a row. I killed 10 specks. What is your possession limit? I never went over my daily legal limit one time. I will never do that. But I want to eat my specks when I want to eat my specks. I want to have 200 people over at the end of the year and have a huge wild game feed.
Right.
I want to have 100. I want to have all 70 of my specks on the Traeger looking beautiful, basted, dry rub, basted out, just shining like freaking vibrant light. What's legal? If you go on a 7-day trip to hunt, what can you kill and bring back?
That's where my mind was just wandering to is, what if you wanted to do, your bucket list hunt and you wanted to hit Arkansas and, whatever, Oklahoma, a couple of the other unbelievable waterfowl states, and you're going to take a 7-day trip, drive into, 3 different states and kill.
Well, now you're starting to get into a whole other deal.
Right.
Here's where people think. If I'm on the Wyoming-Nebraska border and I wake up in Wyoming and kill my ducks, kill 7 greenheads, I can hop over to Nebraska. No, you can't. That's a federal deal. Mm-hmm. Your limit per day is where you're at. So if you're in like the Kentucky, Tennessee, Missouri area, like there's a chance you could go boom, boom, boom and hit 3 states in one day.
Right.
But you still can only kill your legal daily limit, not per state. It's a federal legal limit. Now you're starting to mess with, well, now I shoot my birds in Wyoming. Now I'm going to Montana and I'm going to hunt the Yellowstone River out of Billings for a couple days. Now I have Montana ducks in here and I have Wyoming ducks in my cooler and I'm freaking bringing them all back to Nevada when I'm done hunting. Well, how many can I have? Your possession limit is going to be 3 times your daily limit, I believe, on that take for that haul. But if you're going for 6 days and you kill your legal limit every day, does that mean you have to be eating them the night before to make up for it? Who can answer that question besides the most educated of federal game wardens or state agency game wardens?
I was going to say, I don't even know if they could answer it.
I want to know, if I go on a little tour, what can I bring back? What can I cross state lines with as long as I have my wings on and I have my licenses and I have my toe tags on there of what I killed per day in each state? I'll go overboard on information, right? Information overload.
That would be the key. You would want to document, if you did that trip we were talking about, you would want to document.
So the question is,
these mallards are from here.
If you're hunting 3 days in Wyoming and 3 days in Montana, can I legally bring back a possession limit from both of those states, which is 3 times your daily limit? I hunted 6 days. I hunted 3 days here and 3 days here. Can I legally bring back all of my ducks if I never went above or broke the legal daily possession or daily bag limit in either state. I killed my limit every day in Wyoming, froze them in my lodge, put them in this freezer, kept them froze, went over to Montana, killed my legal limit every day. Can I bring all those ducks back to Nevada with a wing on, legal transport, and cook them at my end of the year game feed?
Be interesting to hear.
So
I don't know the answer.
You don't know, and neither do I.
No.
And I hunt ducks every day of the season pretty much.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You eat a lot of them though while you're out there is why maybe you don't have to deal with it.
I don't want to. I mean, but
Because
a lot of guys don't.
Right.
A lot of lodges supply your meals for you. They're like, oh, we got steak tonight. Oh, we got
You're hunting out of a hotel. You can't cook. I mean,
Well,
most
you can
people
if
don't
you
have
get
a hot
creative.
plate or I guess you could bring a Traeger along and cook in a parking lot, but most people don't do that.
Yeah, they fly up there and they got a hotel. Mm-hmm. Or they drive up and they have the ability to bring stuff, but they don't bring a grill because their trailer's so packed with decoys and guns and ammo.
It would be interesting. I don't know the answer to that question. I would have assumed, and I would have assumed at home same way. If it's processed, and I wouldn't think it'd have to be cooked because like once you cook something, its shelf life is less than when it's not. Right? I mean, I think.
Well, once you cook it, of course, it's not on your limit anymore. My question is how many can you have in your freezer?
Right. No, but I'm saying like at what point? What if you ground
One of the thoughts of the government probably is, well, so you want to have all of your ducks from 2020 still in your freezer, and now you're adding on top of all your 2021 ducks just to say that you're freezing them? Well, what if I'm going eating them at my pace and I still have 2020 ducks left over, but now I'm adding 2021 ducks because I didn't eat all of my ducks from last year.
Right.
So now I'm way over now I know that it's a different license year, but what counts once they're in the freezer and frozen, plucked or whatever?
This applies to fishing too, correct?
I would assume, yeah.
I mean, because
daily
possession,
daily bag limits and possession limits.
and fish. I mean, nobody's eating fish every day. Very few people are eating fish every day.
Yeah, but I mean, if I'm catching crappie every day, if I'm in Tennessee and I'm catching them, I'm doing fish fries 2-3 days a week. That's what Southerners do. They're getting rid of them. They're eating them, or they're saving them up for a big fish fry.
Right. But saving them up could get you in trouble, right?
That's what I'm asking. Mm-hmm. Once they're gutted and once they're butchered and processed, does it count on your your possession limit?
Do you think Google would know the answer to this?
No. Hell no, because every state's different. Then you got the federal law against the state law.
That's true.
When you start talking about ducks and geese and migratory birds, doves included.
So our patented
Don't even Google it, dude. We'll just get more and more confused. This is just a discussion. We need to have a game warden come on here.
I think it would be interesting to have a game warden come on here. I mean, you guys created that. I don't know if you created it, but you sell
that system, yeah.
a system of tags and zip ties,
and all color coded. So when we get in the blind that day, you got 4 hunters in there. You're red, I'm blue, he's black, he's yellow. And then when your duck comes in, you have on your duck strap, you have what color you are that day. Mm-hmm. Then your ducks are hanging there. At the end of the day, that blue gets a big blue one. Now you have the little blue ones. Now you get a big blue one at the end of the day with your limit on it.
Right.
But everybody knows that Belding's is the blue strap, and he's got a blue little band on his strap, and then he puts a blue little band on each of his ducks as the dog brings them back. Boom, you hang them on that strap, and then at the end of the day, you take a big one, tie them all together, and there's your limit. So everybody knows what they have during the hunt. So there's no party excuse for overshooting your limit.
And I mean, all joking aside, you do kind of know what you're shooting, especially if you're on the outs. Say you got 4 guys hunting, the guy on the left and the right, if they're shooting to the left and the right, they know what they're hitting. There can be some,
I think it doesn't happen like that very often in duck hunts.
But
you would have to one at a time at every time, and that doesn't happen in duck hunting. This is a big concern in duck hunting legality, is that you're always party hunting. You got 100 geese that come in, and you got 8 guys that sit up, and you rain 35 geese. What's the deal? What's ethical? You don't just spray into a huge flock.
No.
Everybody pulls the trigger 3 times. 8 times 3 is 24. Times however many BBs in a 3-inch number 2 or a BB shell, which is 120. You're looking at a lot of birds being killed in crossfire. Mm-hmm. Then you got all the birds out there. Now you got to bring them all back. Now there's no way to keep in tow who's is what. You got to situate.
You got to divvy them up.
You got to divvy them up behind each blind. But you know what people do? Oh, they look like decoys. Just put them out amongst the decoys. Well, is that legal? If a game warden walks out into your snow goose spread and it's not the spring season, where I don't know if I don't think spring season even counts to this because there's no limit.
Right.
So it's a free for all. But during the fall season, there's some states that are 20, 25 birds a day.
Right.
So can you just put them in the decoys because they look like decoys and you don't want a big white spot around your blind? You don't have enough room around your ground blind or your pit blind. What are you going to do? That's a lot of geese. You can't put them down the pit because then it becomes dangerous. You can't step anywhere.
Right.
So now there's all these questions. Where do I stack my geese when the federal government has made the limit so high? How do you expect me to keep my 10 specs right with me every hunt? You set the limit to this. Mm-hmm. You told me to kill them because they're eating too much agriculture or they're not producing right and their breeding is down because the breeding grounds are getting so affected by the populations. Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You killed 10 specs. You told me I could. I killed 10 specs. Now you're telling me I did it wrong. You set the limit.
Right.
How am I supposed to hide 10 specs during a hunt?
Like you said, you can't. You get pile them up all around your blind.
But you put them out amongst the decoys, and the same brown color as your brown decoys might keep tricking them.
Right.
Outfitters and hunters do it all over the world. I've been in every state. Every state I've seen outfitters. Every state that I've been to, I'm not saying I've hunted every state with an outfitter. A lot. 90% of them put them in their decoys. Mm-hmm. Not ducks in a pond. You don't just leave them out there floating in your decoys. But a dry ground hunt for geese, put them out there. It makes our spread bigger.
Yeah, you don't leave them on their back or whatever. You flip them over.
So that's where that banded thing comes in. You tag them and then maybe put them out there. Right. You still got your tag, but dude, that's tedious work, man.
Oh yeah.
Most duck hunters are like, oh, they're coming. We ain't got time to tag. I was going to say
you get a second volley right on top of the one you had. And can you blame us? Like, you get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you put out that big spread and you put in all that work and then you're going to have a volley that comes between, with 2 minutes in between.
Hold on, guys. You guys go ahead and shoot at this one. I'm over here putting all these tags
put my zip ties
on every leg that you have. It's a lot of work.
It is. And one key thing is that, I think, and I learned this from you, is that you can't be, when you start getting down to that wire, you can't be so hungry for a limit. And you can't be greedy. You know what I mean? If you've called a bunch of hunts that I've been with you on, you could kill 4 more, you could kill 4 more geese, but you got 4 guys laying there, is everybody you going to trust everyone to get up and shoot one? Or are you going to trust a guy to try and hit 2? No, you just call the hunt, you don't get those 4 more.
Oh, you're pictured is somebody going to go pick you apart on
Count
Instagram?
It out, yeah.
That's not a limit.
Right.
That's not a limit. You guys suck at hunting.
Yeah.
No, we stopped a little short, bub.
Same with
safer.
Same with if you get a couple hens, right?
What if you sold one?
Right.
Counts. Your dog went over there, couldn't find it. We made every effort in the world. Are you ethical enough to count that against your limit, or do you say we made an effort? We're going to kill another one because we got to have that picture, man.
Oh yeah.
You're going to eat it. You're going to eat every goose you kill. This is the kind of shit that goes in to the overall. Or now, okay, look, I'm getting specific on waterfowl hunting. The numbers are down. Okay? Duck stamp purchases are down. Duck hunting is the lowest, and in my opinion, I think I got to say in my opinion, because I don't have the hunter, but I know there's more turkey hunters. I know for a fact there's way more deer hunters, Western and whitetail. There's more sheep hunters around the world than there are duck hunters, big game hunters, turkey hunters. There's more predator hunters in America than there are duck hunters. There's around 2 million duck hunters in America. There's 15 million deer hunters, 4.5, 5 million turkey hunters. Any guesses why? One, we just talked about some intimidating freaking laws. Mm-hmm. Oh, now you tell me I got to identify the bird? Oh, wait, that's a hen gadwall? That looks like a hen mount. Wait, that's not a hen sprig? Oh, no, that's a hen canvasback. What? I just shot that duck because he flew into my decoys.
Identify them while they're flying. Exactly.
While you're flying. Then you got to know all the rules, all the regulations, federally and statewide, of what's the limit, how many of this redhead can I kill, how many canvasbacks can I kill, how many sprig can I kill, how many hen mounts can I kill, how many blue, blah. Then you got to be like, oh, wait, I can't just kill them with my shotgun? No, man, you got to have a trained dog, you got to have a boat, you got to have 20 dozen decoys, you got to have 10 dozen floating duck decoys, you got to have a duck strap, you got to have a blind bag, you got to have a GPS, you got to have this, you got to have that, you got to have this. And then all of a sudden it's like, holy shit, it's expensive to be a duck hunter. Because you can't be successful every day with a dozen decoys. You can't. No matter what people tell you, you can't.
Right.
Now, if you're happy with just going out and hunting your local creek, that's fine. But you gotta be able to entice these birds and have a bigger footprint sooner than later to be consistently successful. So now you got the legalities, you got the whole cost of it. I'm not saying that it's not expensive to be. You can go spend $60,000 on a stone sheep hunt. I get it.
Oh yeah.
But not everybody's going to do that. You know, I'm talking about just being an everyday waterfowl hunter. It's very expensive. You got to have an arsenal. Now you got to have an enclosed trailer. Now you got to have a boat, and you got to have a mud motor. You got to have a truck to pull the boat. You got to have there's tons of shit. Deer hunting, you need a rifle with a scope on it and an orange vest. You can go out there naked for all I care. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that deer hunting's easy, but you don't have an arsenal like you do in duck hunting. You don't. I'm telling you, you need a pretty good lease, or you need some public property. Walk out there in your underwear and some snow boots with an orange vest on and some earmuffs and an Uncle Eddie hat, shitter's full hat, and boom, you kill your deer. Yep. Got to have a knife to skin it and gut it.
Got to know how. Yeah, I was going to say you got to know how to clean them a little bit.
That's where Meet the Maker comes in. Yep. Ooh, full circle.
Wow.
But again, hopefully a company like Meet the Maker gives us the pride and the desire to want to get ingrained more. I do want to become a better duck hunter. I'm up for the challenge. Now, we didn't even talk about the vocalizations. You don't have to be a good deer caller to kill a deer. I'm not saying that you got to be the greatest duck caller in the world or a goose caller, but if you understand the language and can help and can call, you're going to be better off. I'll just let him call for me. That's cool. That's a good mindset, but I don't have that mindset. I want to be the guy calling. I always wanted to be the guy that was like,
he's not always going to be there.
I want, oh man, look at him how they just spun around. I wanted that forever, right? So I guess all in all is duck hunting suffers because of the complexities and the expense of it. And a big part of it is that some people are just like, dude, screw it. I'm not even going to try it. You guys make it too hard. You're busting everybody for all of this stuff, which if you're intentionally going out and breaking the law, you're baiting or you're poaching or you're going out and putting a bad spin and a bad name on this lifestyle, this right that we have to be a hunter, it's a right and a privilege. If you're going out and intentionally doing it because I'm mad at him, I didn't get to kill as many last year, the migration was low, that's not right. Mm-hmm. It's not right. Abide by the laws, okay? You do when you drive your car. I don't like people going 80 and a 60. You know why? Because I look at my daughter someday getting smashed by one of those assholes that has to drive fast everywhere. I don't like that mindset.
Nope.
You own the road? No, you don't. We're all taxpayers. I'm not saying don't be in your little thing going 40 in the fast lane. Scoot over and let the people that want to go by. Understand the ethics and what's that word I'm looking for? Like when you're bowling and you let the person to your right go. Etiquette. Have some etiquette. Golf etiquette, bowling etiquette, driving etiquette, hunting etiquette. Respect the resource. Have compassion for the animals we pursue. Don't go out and just think you can shoot them up and break the law just because you have a gun and that you can. No, you can't. But if you take the time to learn these laws and get ingrained in it, it's a very plentiful and bountiful and fulfilling feeling that you get when it all comes together and you're making that sausage with your Meet the Maker processing equipment and grinder and mixing bowl and all that, and then putting it into your bag and vacuum sealing it and writing on it and then flattening it out so it freezes thoroughly. And then when you thaw it out in some water, it thaws out in an instant because you packaged it the right way. Boom, it all makes sense. But we could talk for hours. Me and Dave Stanley and I have had so many conversations about some of the same stuff we're talking about and why more people don't get, plus it's cold. Oh, wait, there's ice? Wait, we got to walk through a river? What? We got to be in water with waders where your waders leak. Well, everything that's underwater that's made to keep water out is going to let water in someday.
Yep.
Okay, you got to understand that. So there's all this stuff that goes into this lifestyle. I got to buy a new pair of waders? Well, probably every season if you hunt hard.
Right.
Why? I don't have to buy any. Well, yeah, you do. You gotta buy more ammo. You got to buy more gear. You got to buy other jackets. Everything gives out.
Yep.
Waders take a beating. Everybody's like, well, banded waders. I remember we've heard it all. No, they don't. I'm saying that if you're a real serious duck hunter, you might need to buy waders more than once every 10 years.
Oh, go through the ice with them one time. I don't care whose wader you wear.
Stumps in Arkansas when you're walking in flooded timber.
Yeah.
It chews it up. So I guess we want more people involved. We want it to be desirable to be a waterfowl hunter. But then we bitch because there's too many people in the marsh.
There are some.
We want keep public land public. Oh yeah, well now if you're a veteran and we want to give you a little benefit of hunting with a crossbow on Sundays in Montana, there people are like all these interfighting. No, you can't do that. Those are our deer. Those are our mountains. I thought you just said keep public land public. Mm-hmm. This guy just fought for our freedoms. You're saying he can't go out there and take a shot at a buck because you think you've been scouting so hard that you got the biggest buck on the mountain pegged? relax.
Right.
Freaking relax. Chill the freak out. He's in a wheelchair. He's a double amputee from war. He can't go out there and have a little bit more of an advantage on deer. Not saying that veterans have asked for this. It's just people trying to get more people in the field and give them their due process of being able to harvest an animal.
Yeah.
It's harder when you're a freaking disabled veteran. But then we have interfighting. Nope, don't allow it. I don't want you to take the gun out of my hands.
They don't want the youth seasons either.
No youth seasons.
But you need people to continue your
heritage.
and your
lifestyle.
sport.
But let's bitch about it when they do it.
Right.
There's just so much interfighting and so much ego, and it makes it to where you're just like, man, I don't even want to be on social media. I post so much stuff that's not even pile pics because it's like, why? What is a pile? What does it signify? Memories with your friends? Why has it got to have a pile in there to get a lot of likes? Why can't just a picture of me and my buddy high-fiving with my dog be the epicenter of a hunt? Why has it got to show the pile? Oh, we stacked them up today, man. That mindset's not good. Now, I'm unapologetic about killing them. I love killing them. And
Got to kill them to eat them.
I love eating them.
Right.
I like mounting them. I love taxidermy. I'm unapologetic about it all as long as we're legal, right?
Is it that just some bad apples spoil the bunch? Because I really do.
Bad apple spoils a whole damn bunch. Who sings it? Bad Apples, 1991 album, red and yellow cover. It was a double album.
I don't know.
What? Double album, 1991. Use your...
Is it Use Your Illusion?
1 and 2. Bad Apples.
Bad. I never heard Bad
Why
Apples.
let one bad apple spoil the whole... Oh, Axel rips on it.
So do you think that's what it is?
No, I think that...
More bad apples are spoiling the bunch?
I think that there's a lot of illegal means and outlaws that don't get caught. I think that innocent people get busted, for making... laws they might not have educated themselves on, right? Because they say like 97% of duck hunters break a law when they go in the field every day.
Not intentionally, obviously.
Not intentionally,
yeah.
But the intentional ones that know they're baiting or know that they're burying
Shooting
ducks
20 ducks a day
and burying them and ditching them because they want to go kill more. I've had people tell me to my face, swear on my life in the last 6 months, dude, it was unreal one day, man. We went out there and we just couldn't quit killing them. We had to go back in and ditch these and put them away and then go back out and kill them. I just want to go, dude, you just literally told me you're a poacher. Mm-hmm. You literally just told me that you're giving our lifestyle and heritage a bad name. I swear on my life, I've heard that 3 to 5 times in the last 6 months. Stories of people thinking I want to hear that's going to make them cool to me. Oh, really? You had one of those days where the ducks wouldn't quit coming? No shit. And then you're bitching about the next day because they're all gone because you won't quit shooting at them.
And I kind of... My mind has wandered off. I saw this picture last year, 12-year-old kid kills a 235-inch mule deer with his dad. And then you wonder, so the dad basically had this whole hunt and just pointed his son's rifle at this 235-inch deer and he killed it. And you start to sympathize with people that go, oh, there shouldn't be a youth hunt. So some guy can just bring his, kid out there and kill the deer that he's been looking at because he can't draw a tag or whatever. That's where I wonder, does that one bad apple spoil the bunch? Whereas, I talked to, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on his name, but basically he said,
you don't need to say names on here.
Not name, but he doesn't care if his kid would be happy killing a doe, a fork. He wants to get his first deer. Like that's a youth tag, right? That's what our dads did with us, and you learned how to clean your first deer and it didn't matter what the horns looked like. Then you got the guy that, his 11-year-old kid kills a 235-inch mule.
Well, that's the same basketball parent that thinks his son's the next Kobe.
Right.
No, dude. Chill out. You're at a local high school in Sun Valley, Idaho. Your kid's just okay.
Right.
Okay? It doesn't matter. It's the experience. I mean, I've been to games for my nephews, even my daughter's volleyball games, 10 years old, and you have parents in there thinking that they're the next Olympic gold medalist. You just want to be like, will you chill out?
Yeah.
I love the Little League parents that just rip into the umpires.
I know you don't watch a lot of social media, but there's one that you would love if you've seen it. Kid grabs the basketball and he goes, think fast. And he throws it to a adult, right? And the adult catches it and the lady goes, he's going to be a pro one day. And when the guy throws it back to the kid, hits him right in the face. He doesn't catch the ball. It's freaking hilarious.
It's perfect. That's what this is.
Exactly.
It's what it is.
Exactly.
But the hunting for your kids is like, chill out.
Yeah.
It's not about your kid killing a 180 on his first hunt.
Right.
There's a kid in Kansas or some Missouri or somewhere this year killed that new world record whitetail. And I guess there's a game farm right down the street, and it's known that it got out.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And now they're wondering, is it really Boone and Crockett because he killed it in free ranging land, or is it? No, it's not. In my opinion, it's not a Boone and Crockett deer.
No.
It was freaking farmed.
Exactly.
It was injected with sperm and freaking steroids. Again, in my
and
opinion,
fed high protein and whatever they feed them.
You know how many ducks I've watched dial into decoys, just belly up, back flapping. I'm picturing, oh my God, if this is me and my buddies hunting, when Alyssa's got her little 410 or a little Benelli M2, Chase is there with us. Not one time did I ever go, give me the gun, I'm going to kill your duck for you.
Right.
We got to get some pictures of some dead ducks with you, or this hunt is not a success. We're not going to get enough I had problems putting Alyssa's hunt on social media. I put it on there because I wanted to show, I was showing the correlation of Les was turning 80 and Alyssa was turning 10. And they were both crying on her first duck when she killed that canvasback.
Yeah.
And I was like, look what hunting does to us. It was one duck. It wasn't like my daughter's the best in the world.
Yeah.
She
probably got 7 mallards.
There was some luck involved in that shot. Remy was there. I'm a lefty, and I was trying to help her get centered up. I'm like, shoulder. Finally, I said, Remy, come up here, and you're a righty. Help her get the shoulder and make sure she's looking down the barrel. Soon enough, I think the second time, another canvasback came in, big bull, woof, smoked it. Pistol, Les's yellow lab brings it back. I'm crying. Les is crying on his birthday. This is the youth hunt in February. Alyssa just turned 10 on New Year's Eve. And Les is 80. I don't know how many ducks he's got under his belt. He's in the Boone and Crockett Hall of Fame for the North American 29.
His game room would tell me he's got a lot.
And he's killed ducks. He's a big time duck. His duck hunting's his passion.
Yeah.
And he's crying over this little 10-year-old girl's first duck. And I put it on social media, and I had to ask T-Bone and Waddell and all these guys, man, I don't know if I feel right about that. And they're like, why wouldn't you? You're celebrating something that meant something to you. Who cares if anybody likes it? I know, but couldn't I just keep that to myself and not put it on social media? Why do we have this feeling that we have to showcase everything on social media for the brand? She's wearing Bandage. She's wearing Realtree. She's shooting Benelli. She's shooting Federal. She's wearing Oakley. She's got a Banded B on her beanie. Why do we feel the need to go out and share it with the world when it'd be okay just in our family heirlooms and in our photo albums?
Sure.
Why do I care that somebody goes, oh my God,
like
Chad,
that.
good job taking your daughter hunting? No shit, that's what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
It's what good dads do.
You're not supposed to go to jail.
But why do we need to celebrate it with everybody?
That's what society is now, I guess.
But why? Why can't? When is this going to go away?
Never.
I mean, we started with meat and processing and butchering, and now we're on to my thoughts that I wish I woke up tomorrow and never saw another social media platform. Well, you wouldn't be able to stay in touch with your nephew in Detroit. Freaking, he's over living in 8 Mile, and he might want to show off his. No, just text me if you're my nephew, or freaking have your mom. Your aunt, your mom is obviously my cousin or my freaking.
Send me a letter.
Send me a letter. Freaking go old school a little bit on us. This is not a soapbox. This is just me saying, F social media.
Right.
You've already seen what freaking Facebook did to the election and how illegal they are. I've already watched. We had a discussion today in one of our team meetings. I've already seen what they're doing to hunting and shooting companies.
They're gone,
and how their analytics and their algorithms, I should say, are not allowing us to get the message out there. Donald Trump can't even tweet. Some of our congressmen and old vets, retired vets, can't tweet, but the Taliban can.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you want to get political, this social media is tearing America apart. Tell me anything right now besides if you own a company and you get to advertise on this, what's beneficial about it? Because my 8-year-old nephew in Detroit gets to show me that he took his first steps. Well, he should have already if he's 8 years old. That was a dumb example, but I'm covering it up with a joke.
I like it.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like these moms put all this shit on there, put it on whogivesashit.com.
Exactly.
If you want to share that with the people that mean something, you want to know what it tells me? They're looking for somebody to go, oh my God, good job, good, well thought out. That wardrobe is just so well thought. You should be mom of the year. You know what? Who cares?
In my opinion, it is 100% turned to a purely negative thing.
What is positive
because
about
you can't have a different opinion than anyone, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you can't. And what you find cool, or what you got out of something is only they only can read into one photo, right? You post a photo of your daughter on her first duck hunt, it's going to be bashed on by half the population, that thinks you're just out killing something, and it's going to be praised by half the population that understands what that is.
And now on top of it, because of the egos in hunting, you're gonna have the infighting.
That too.
Oh yeah, I bet you she's with the foul life. Yeah. She got to hunt the best places in the world.
Can't believe she's not wearing a life jacket.
Can't believe she's not wearing a life jacket. And how dare you have your dog on that? Oh yeah, dude, everybody's a pro and everybody's a critic and everybody's an ambassador and everybody's an influencer. How about y'all just go get in your lane and just live life?
A classic one, and I think you briefly touched on it, but I was going to talk to you about that. Was it you cutting the breast meat off those?
Did you see that? I got lit up for it. You just got to pluck that.
There's a way to do it with one cut instead of two. Dude, okay.
Oh, and you're not taking the legs off. How do you know I didn't take the legs off? How do you know that the video wasn't cut short? But you know what? They go, oh my God, I'm in my mom's basement. She just brought me down a little PB&J without the crust. You know, like that dude that's afraid of the sun in the movie Benchwarmers?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, I'm going to type under a mysterious name that Chad Belding sucks. Because he didn't clean that goose the way that I would have.
Can't believe you're holding your knife with that hand. That's what's cracked me up. We could start another episode right now and go into all this, but it is. I do believe that when it first started, I just had this discussion. It was a way to keep in touch with people. And I don't know if we figured out that we didn't want to keep in touch with those people anymore. If it's just showed us that, right? That I can't believe I used to call you my friend. That's a drastic thing. But, you know, acquaintances that you used to know.
That excuse is so old now, bro. You got FaceTime. You got Skype. You could literally call every member in your family and have them on every different screen on your laptop or your smart TV and play video games against them. You can talk with them. You can watch the World Series tonight with them. You can call grandpa. I hadn't seen my grandpa. I'm not being me, but a lot of people don't live right by their immediate family.
Right.
The social media sucks, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
It's more detrimental.
When it started, I think it was. I think it was something that you could, you know, like you said, you could keep in touch better, easier with people that maybe you would never talk to. But now that turned into something that I think we were meant to stay away from those people. You know what I mean? It's just wild, dude. You literally can't do anything without having somebody else's opinion of, you know. You just ate salami, cheese, salami. It should have been cheese, salami, cheese.
Oh wait, I put up this goose call one. They're like, geese don't do that. And I'm like, oh, that's what I said in my post is that I'm a goose. No shit, dude. I'm a freaking human being blowing a goose call.
Right.
Okay. Kelly Powers lost contest when he did a spit no. Most of these people that are judging you goes back to our conversation on breaking it down of foodies and critics. Oh, this soup sucks. Mm-hmm. It's just the broth is just not tantalizing. Dipshit, I'm so over self-absorbing comments that make you feel better when you hit the send button. You're telling me I can't blow a goose call? Bro, I've placed higher than most of the best goose callers in the country in contests.
Killed thousands of geese.
Had people look at me just wowed. Oh my God. Sold thousands of ducks and goose calls and banded and now jargon calls. But I haven't proven myself that I can operate a goose call. So I got some donkey that can go on there and just shred me apart. Oh, yeah. Rock, you might be the hardest worker in the room, but your triceps don't look very... No, dude, you're an idiot. Just it's like, why do you say that I don't sound like geese? Who are you to tell me that Canada geese don't make that sound? When I guarantee you I've spent 5,000 times more time in the field than you listening to real Canada geese.
And you blow a goose call in your truck all the time.
I operate a goose call.
The same.
I operate a goose call. I don't blow
I said what I said.
A goose call.
They're the same guys that try it on public land.
Yeah,
these guys are hunting in leased fields
all
the time.
I'll go film an episode of The Foul Life on public land. Here's a couple examples. I'm going to be out at Stillwater this Saturday filming a episode of The Foul Life. I'm going to ask that every single person that has plans to go to Stillwater this weekend with their kids and their friends and their family, change your plans and don't go. Why? Because we can't have you shooting at ducks when they're working our decoys. We can't have you sky blasting when we're trying to work ducks into camera view. We can't have you yelling across the marsh for your buddy to come on because we're trying to make TV. Okay? Now another one is, okay, we're going to be at the public boat ramp on the White River in Arkansas opening day with a full TV crew to let everybody in the world know where your sacred ground is on your public land.
Right.
They're going to kill me. They're going to shoot me. They're going to fist fight me. They're going to be pissed. They're going to talk down to me. They're going to say that I'm giving up their secrets. They're going to say that we ruined hunting in Oklahoma and Kansas and all this shit by telling them, oh, you can kill deer here and kill ducks here. It's you can't win, dude. You can't win. And social media has given everybody the ability to talk shit without being held accountable for. Like Tyson said, everybody's tough until they get punched in the face.
You just hit the nail right on the head.
Nobody's accountable anymore. They can say whatever they want to whoever they want. Not one time in my whole career, in every hundreds of appearances I've done, have had somebody walk up to the table and say, I'm coming over this table and whipping your ass because you're a shitty goose caller, you hunt private property, you're unethical, you wore a flat bill hat, you freaking you ruined the sport of hunting. Not one person ever. And all of these announcements of I'm gonna be here now, I'm gonna be here this day. Not one time have I been confronted negatively.
No. Well, never
Quite
happened.
the opposite.
Never happened. No one's ever going to come up to you and tell you cut the goose meat off that breast wrong at a Cabela's or wherever.
Yeah, Chad, can you follow me to my tailgate? I just killed a goose this morning.
Let me show you how to hold that knife.
Hey, could you pop that cooler and give me one of those cold bears? I've only had 9 of them this morning already, but I want to show you how I do this.
I did find that funny. I didn't know if you had seen it or not, but
somebody called me. We're not saying names, but a sponsor called me. Said, hey, was going to call. It was so funny. This is one of the funniest guys I know. He goes, hey, was going to call you to do a goose butchering seminar for me. I was going to give you $12,000, but I watched your post and I read that you don't know how to do it.
exactly. I'm going to have to retract that offer.
I'm going to have to retract that offer. I'm going to go. I got my agents reaching out to this guy's agent right here. We're going to hire him now.
Jim and no one's ever heard of you. Village in Canada can clean that goose a heck of a lot better than you. We're going to hire him. It is funny though, dude. And then it's just like, how much time do you?
But how much are you supposed to take? Remember that show with Michael Douglas when he finally just lost his shit? What was it called? Stand
tall? No,
not standing.
Falling down.
Falling down.
You went the wrong way.
And he just loses his shit in traffic jam. Dude, I feel like that on this highway every day. I moved out here for sanctity and just quiet, and now it's like a zoo, right? Well, who am I to bitch? You know, we're part of it. Yeah. Before me living out here was the coyote, so who am I to bitch, right? Freaking diesels going back and forth, cars ripping in and out, freaking construction everywhere, noise everywhere, crime everywhere. It's part of life.
Yeah.
It's part of life.
It sucks though.
But it's like you want something, you pray for the best, and you got to adapt. Michael Douglas didn't adapt. He just started shooting people, right? Well, how much of this social media can you take of getting battered? Oh, just stay in your lane, Chad, and know that you're a good guy, and know that you've made it, know that you're doing well. These are things my therapist tell. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're in therapy? You must be a weakling. No, I'm in therapy 2 days a week. I go to a therapist. Always have. Love it. I advise anybody to get into it, but most people wouldn't admit that. Won't say her name, won't say what her degrees are in, won't all the shit that goes into being in therapy. I love it. But how much are you supposed to take until you finally snap and go, listen, waterhead, you're clueless. You have 112 followers. But who's the asshole when I do that, Crosby?
You are.
This guy has the ability to get on and make me look stupid. But then I'm the you know what when I argue back and go, hey, waterhead, Mom mad at you? She finally took your handcuffs off down in the freaking base? Like I could verbally assassinate somebody, but then I'm going to get in trouble with sponsors. I'm going to be looked down on because I finally lost my cool. Why can't I lose my cool?
Well, you're just going to get blocked, you know, right?
I should just block them.
That's the answer.
Why didn't you just block them, Chad, if they hurt your feelings? That's the thing. They're not accountable. They just did that and they went on with their day. Oh gosh, I'm going to go play Dungeons and Dragons now, and maybe some crossbows and catapults. I'm going to just go live my day in my basement, right?
Yep.
Okay. The thing is that nobody's accountable. I should be able to just touch a button. His address is right there. I book a plane flight, go up there, knock on the door, and go, hey, I'm here. Right. You talk some smack. He might be the biggest dude in the world. He might be able to throttle me with one punch, but at least he knows that he's going to be held accountable, and he's going to get a fight on his hands for making fun of people. You're not supposed to bully.
Right. Well, you know, that guy's never going to post a video of him cleaning a goose.
Because he doesn't know how to kill a goose.
Well, and that's what, you know, like that's more accountability, right?
But the problem is that who's going to watch it?
Nobody.
Who's going to watch his video?
I've always
Does that make him mad that people are watching our stuff?
Yes.
But why? I don't even want to be on there.
Right.
Does he not understand that I wish I didn't even have to be on here?
No, he doesn't.
But it's part of our marketing now. It's part of the way brands are in marketing and promotion and advertising is done.
Can't
now.
do it without
I
it.
just saw a report last night on Fox News that the quarter report for revenue of Facebook, guess what it was for the third quarter of 2021? Just guess.
I don't even know how to.
Well, take your favorite company. Okay, we did 800,000 for the quarter. That would be a $2.4 million year. That's pretty strong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, we did $1 million this month. Okay, you did $4 million this year. You did $1 million a quarter. Guess how much they did in the third quarter of 2021? $9.8 billion.
Jesus Christ.
$9.8 billion in a quarter? Who is spending that much money with Facebook? That means people are advertising on it. That means that people are like saying that, oh, well, we're on TV a little bit. We got our little print ad campaign, got some digital ads here. We got all of their freaking budgets over here. If they're getting 9.8 billion worldwide. That ain't 9.8 million. That's 9.8 billion. How many millions in a billion? 100 million?
1,000.
1,000 million is a billion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know that. That's how far off I am from a billion.
No one gets to count that high.
You know who does? It's a great leader named Donald Trump.
It's true. That dude just sold $268 million in his own Facebook shares. It's hard to wrap your mind around 268 million. You're not even close to $1 billion at that point.
Yeah, I mean, there's guys like Dave Grohl that are worth 400 million from rock and roll. Rappers like Jay-Z, 900 million or $1 billion. They're billionaires.
He's
now.
a billionaire, yeah.
Tiger. I mean, there's people that are up there. Could you imagine? But what I'm saying is that Facebook, obviously, people are spending money with
Necessary
this
evil,
stuff.
I think, is what they call it.
The necessary evil. It sucks. It's the worst. Oh my God! I'm just going to scroll this morning, and I'm going to feel better about myself. Bullshit, you are. Stop scrolling. Stop scrolling, please. I've heard musicians tell me I had to get off of it. Why? Well, I thought I was a good singer. Well, why aren't you? Well, I don't have the attendance this guy had. Look at this show here. Look at this sellout here. Look at this Grammy here. Look at this ACM here. Look at his hot wife here. It's like the things we didn't know back in the day kept us wholesome, man.
Yeah.
Now we're comparing ourselves to everybody. I'm not that pretty.
And
that dress doesn't look. Remember, you had to read People magazine to see who wore it better. Now it's like freaking. You just have to scroll to see every pretty girl in the world and think, oh my gosh,
enough,
dude,
yeah.
I'm good enough for her. I can get. And these little girls are seeing it being, is that what I'm supposed to look like? Yep. Oh wait, I just don't know how many filters she went through to get there.
Yeah,
it's like,
they got a whole nother set of problems over there. Unfortunately,
isn't this crazy that we're talking? This has kind of gone on too far for Foul Life, but think about it. If we're hunting, let's quit the inner fighting. Let's learn to be providers. Cook better. Process better. Butcher better. I should say butcher better. Process better. Meet your maker. They believe in everything that we talked about today. I'm sure they do. Maybe they don't agree with us that social media sucks. Maybe they love social media. Meet your maker on Instagram. Is that what it is, or is it made by meat?
No.
Let's make sure. I've always get confused because I've seen both.
You know, somebody's gone on their social media and said they misspelled meat.
It's made by meat, I believe, on Instagram. Made by meat.
Oh, I didn't know you were talking about their
I'm
Instagram.
wrong again. Made with meat. Made with meat. Made with meat. See, it's too confusing. It's meetyourmaker.com, but it's made with meat on Instagram. MADEWITHMEAT, made with meat. Great stuff on there. Ooh, look at this. Wild hog boudin. Ooh, I love me some Louisiana Cajun boudin, boy. Get over there and stir that pot of gum on that, boy. The Foul Life Podcast. Thank you, Made with Meat. Meet your maker. Get into this lifestyle. I'm telling you. Here's some good news. You can go on theproviderlife.com right now. Get our rubs. We got 10 of them. You can do the 10-pack, the ultimate pack, or you can do the crosshairs or the drop tine or the covey or the swine or the foul, the flaky, the spawn. I'm going to miss some here. The dragon, the Sonora, the Brit. There's 10 of them. Did I name 10 of them? Or did I miss one?
What's the fish one?
Spawn and flaky.
I don't think you said
They are unbelievable, are they not?
They're really good.
I did say spawn and flaky.
You did?
Rewind the tape.
back.
And November 9th, the Provider Cookbook. We're number 1 on Amazon right now. Did you see that? Number 1 in cookbooks.
I did.
Just based off our pre-sales. It's a beautiful book. I promise you all, it is a beautiful book. Chad Mendez, Clay Belding, Clint Belding, Alex Crosby, Bubba Henderson, Tom Rashashine, Tyson Waldron, Bubba Henderson. Did I say him already?
You did. You forgot to say yourself.
Jennifer Swenson,
Myself.
Alex Crosby. Didn't
No,
I
you
say?
said me. You didn't say yourself.
Chad Belding, myself. So many awesome. I got a text from Billy Bogey in Arkansas, our main chef at Prairie Wings in Arkansas, Brandon and Brian Adam place, and he said I had tears in my eyes because he's in there big picture of him. Billy Bogey smothered deer steak, unbelievable recipe, and he's just unreal. He's like, I opened it, man, and I signed him a copy and sent it to him. It's beautiful.
Did you get Drew in there?
200 Drew's in there with Miss Shelley Cross at Honey Break with the sizzling squirrel. She made it for me one day, and I love it. We filmed it. It's on the Foul Life. Drew Keith, Leith Lofton's tomato gravy's in there. Brent Cobb's family greens are in there. Collard greens, some other one more Brent Cobb recipe. Christy Crabtree and Andy Purwin, Nevada foodies. I know I'm going to miss a bunch of people trying to name all these, but recipes from all over the world. Jim Ray, Brad Forsyth, tons of Chad Mendez's friends. Clay's Garden. You're in there. Elk hunts, deer hunts. You wrote some of it for us. It's pretty cool. Have you seen it?
Yeah. I was thumbing through it before I came in here.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Really cool.
Available November 9th. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all of your retail outlets for your books. Get the Provider Cookbook.
Would you say
Let
if
us
you
know
got
what you
that
think of
cookbook, you wouldn't have to make so many duck poppers?
100%. There's so many good waterfowl recipes
That's
in
what's
there.
important.
We just posted this one. It's going in the new edition of California Waterfowl magazine.
What is it?
Look at that. Just set
Let me
your
see the
eyes on
picture
that.
from here, and I'll guess what it is. Maybe my eyesight's not that good.
It's got a picture of the cookbook.
Chad's famous duck fried rice.
Yep.
Lots of people ask for that recipe. You're going to give it up, huh?
It's not in the cookbook. It's in Cal Waterfowl. It's going in the part 2 of the
Oh,
cookbook.
you saved.
And then we filmed it, and it's going on the providerlife.com.
But you're giving it out to Cal Waterfowl?
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to make fried rice.
It does if you're an Italian guy with a good duck fried rice recipe, you should have held on to that thing.
Well, I just learned from all my influences over the world.
Understand. Jimmy Ray wouldn't give you his paella recipe, guaranteed.
Yeah, he did. It's in there.
He did?
Yeah,
Is
no,
Ray
his
Italian?
His Cioppino in there. No, I think Ray is gooberish. Have you ever heard of that?
Never.
Never have.
We're going off on another
We
tangent.
love Jim Ray.
Wrap this thing
Jim
up.
Ray can cook.
Jim Ray can cook.
At Jimmy Ray on Instagram, the dude can cook. He's a Traeger boy. At Acroz, A-C-R-O-Z on Instagram. Check out new episodes of Where the Pavement In podcast with Alex Crosby, Clay Belding, Clint Belding, Bubba Henderson, Jared Woodward. Check out new episodes of Sig Sauer's Peace of Mind podcast, part of the Foul Life. New episodes of Eukanuba Duck Dogs. New episodes of Dickie's Workwear Foul Life podcast. New episodes of Just the Foul Life. I know that I'm missing one in there. New episodes of... I said Eukanuba Duck Dog, Dickie's Workwear,
SCI,
Sig
weren't you
Sauer.
doing
And
something?
yes, that's it. SCI's Foul Thoughts. Thank you for everything you do, Safari Club International. Brand new episodes of Where the Pavement Ends and brand new episodes of This Life Ain't For Everybody and This Life Ain't For Everybody, breaking it down. Our new episode coming out this week is all about Bobby Ritchie, a.k.a. Kid Rock, and the concert we went to for my birthday. Chad Belding, Alex Crosby, another episode of the Foul Life podcast. Thank you all very much for the subscriptions, the downloads, and for supporting the sponsors and partners that take care of all of our brands here at the Foul Life, Where the Pavement Ends, This Life Ain't For Everybody, Banded Brands, Avery Outdoors, Green Headgear, Jargon Duck Calls, American Almond Beef. We could not thank you all enough. Thank you very much for all the continuous support, and thank you, Made with Meat, for making us better providers across the world. For Alex Crosby, Chad Belding, we'll see you next time. This song is called My Foul Life by the Rock Band out of the state of Idaho. 2 a.m. Logic.